Hello, hello. How the devil are we? Let's get live chat up instead of top chat. Why does it always go to top chat? I don't want top chat. I want to see everything. How are we doing, guys? Just moving some stuff around so I can get on frame. All right, Miss Maddie. Good girl. She's gonna have her dinner. Whoops! What made you jump? What was that? What made you jump, sweetie? Bless. She did a whole blah just as she was having a drink. What made you jump, Bobsy? Did something bite you? It wasn't Boo-Boo. Go get a drink. Go on. What did you do? Hello, hello, hello. People be here. People be here. Okay, I'm not planning on being on for too long today, as she always says. No, really, I'm not. I'm up to about here with things I need to do. I'm adminless at the moment, so I've got a lot going on. Anyway, that's the point of this session, really. This session. The lights being a bit weird. The camera doesn't look very good. What's going on there? Oh, it looks better on stream than it does on my computer. That's weird. Anyway. So, bullet journaling. Bullet journaling. I was going great guns on my bullet journal, as you may remember. I started it in the middle of June, according to the Bullet Journal Method book, sticking to the rules. I mean, there aren't any rules, but, you know, I stuck to the book. I did it the way he suggested. Because I had been doing it for a while, and when I read the book, I realised I'd been doing it wrong, and that my bullet journal had basically turned into a very long to-do list, and it wasn't functioning for me. So, Reboot in June. For One Book July, everything went swimmingly until the middle of August. And then I went on holiday for 2 weeks. I didn't go away anywhere, I just had 2 weeks off work. Because I have no life, I didn't do anything in those 2 weeks other than, you know, what I wanted to do. I relaxed, I painted, I watched Netflix, all that kind of stuff. I intended, when I originally went on holiday, I was going to keep up my bullet journal morning and evening, even if it was only just a line a day. You know, what I'm doing today, what I want to get done today, something I want to do today, somewhere I want to go, what I actually did, whatever, okay? I did do that for the first couple of days, and what I found was I was so into the whole using my bullet journal as a way of logging what I do every day, that again, it started being, it wasn't a journal, it was, oh, and since I'm not at work today, I should be doing this. It became a list of stuff I should be doing because I had time to myself, instead of, no, damn it, I'm on staycation. If I wasn't at home, I wouldn't be able to do it. That was my rule. If I wasn't at home, would I be able to do this? If the answer was no, then I wasn't allowed to do it, unless it was urgent. Because the whole point of having a holiday is to have a holiday, right? Not so that you spend your entire time doing all the stuff that you don't have time to do the rest of the year because you're working. So, skip forward to beginning of September. I started back at work, and this is where things started to go downhill. And I think I have figured out why and how, and I think I've figured out how to fix it. So I thought it would be useful for me to kind of walk you through my thought process, because I've seen a lot of people saying similar things. They were great with One Book July. They took a break. They went on holiday, whatever. They went back to work, to school, to doing what they do, and suddenly they're like, why is it not working? I'm doing the same thing, why is it not working? And that was my question. I'm doing the same thing, why is it not working? So, after much not getting to the root of the problem, because it's not that I overthink things, it's that I decide I know what the question is, and therefore that's the only answer that's available. So I threw the question out, and I stopped asking why it wasn't working. I was trying to do what I'd been doing before I went away. Now, in the book, Ryder says that it takes 2 to 3 months, sometimes longer, to form the bullet journal as a real habit. I got into the swing of it around mid-July, but that doesn't mean it was a habit. That just means I got it working. I started tweaking it in August to be a little bit more what I felt I wanted. Small steps, very small. I stuck mostly to what I wanted to do. I didn't go all gung-ho. I mean, when you see it, you'll see there's lots of pictures and stuff, but I wasn't doing that on a daily basis. That was stuff that I went back and I was like, well, I want to put this in my bullet journal. I'll go back and put it in a space that I know I don't need anymore. So I was backfilling rather than doing a page a day. And I think the problem was this. Having taken 2 weeks off, I made the mistake of thinking that I could then just jump back into it right where I left off. Now, if any of you have ever done, and I speak from experience on this because I was a dancer, if any of you have ever done athletics or gymnastics or dance or anything like that, you know how to do things still. It's not like you suddenly forget how to do a pirouette. What it is that your muscles are not in tune with your brain and you need to remind yourself how to do it. You get it with art as well, or even handwriting sometimes. I mean, I used to get it over the school holidays where I'd take 6 weeks off over the school holidays. And I didn't get it quite so bad, but quite often I would find that the last 2 weeks of the holidays we'd be away, so I wasn't journaling as much or I wasn't writing as much. And I'd get back to school and I'd be like, you know, I'd forgotten how to hold a pen kind of thing. And it felt weird. That's the best I can describe it. And I think that might be where the problem occurred. Because anybody who's ever done any kind of physical activity knows that if you have 2 weeks off, you can't come back and jump back in at the peak of your performance. It's impossible. You have to have a run-up. And it never occurred to me that a journaling practice or the practice of bullet journaling might be like that. So I'd done 2 months of, let's start this from scratch, let's get it going. Okay, we've got it going. Okay, now let's tweak it to where I want to be. Yes, it's working. So I'd really only had like 1 week to 2 weeks of, yes, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to get going. This is working perfectly. And then I put it down and walked away. And when I came back, I picked it up and went, yes, here's my perfect little bullet journal. Jumped right back in. And it didn't work. Didn't work. And I've been asking myself, I've been trying to answer this question for a month. Why is it no longer working when it was before? And that's not the right question. The correct question was, what do I need my bullet journal to be? Because what I needed from my bullet journal in the middle of August is not necessarily what I need from my bullet journal in the middle of October. And I missed that crucial key component of bullet journaling that Ryder talks about all the time. Your bullet journal is not always going to be the same. That's why you don't really have templates. That's why you can customize it, because it grows and changes with you. You took a week off and felt the same when you came back. Yeah, because just a week off, your life has changed in a week. My life had changed in 2 weeks. I was no longer stressed out and feeling like I had loads to catch up on, or, you know, desperately needed a holiday, desperately needed to sleep. I came back, I was energized, I was ready to get going again. I was a different person at the beginning of September to what I was at the middle of August when I desperately needed a holiday. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me sooner. But I was lying in bed the other night and I thought, hang on a minute. I know why it's not working. It's not working because I'm trying to use an old system instead of starting from today. That's what Ryder always talks about, isn't it? Turn over a page and start from today. Forget what's gone before, start from today. And I've always assumed that that meant that was just literally, you know, you turn over the page and you've always got a blank page to start with. But actually, I think he means it philosophically. No matter where you are or what you need from your bullet journal, you can always just turn over the page and start again. Literally, just say, okay, that's not working anymore. Boom, here we go, new page. Off we go. So that's where this came in. So I went back to the book and I didn't redo what we'd done before because I felt that was redundant. What I did was went through the exercises that I'd completed before in order to get to where I wanted to be and where I'd got to in August. So I went back to my basic, see, this is where I was, and I was doing great with it. I was really happy with it. I was getting stuff done. All of this sketching and drawing and stuff was all stuff that I went back and filled in. Like I'd done these pages and I had quite a lot of space. Because I wanted to put pictures in from those days. I wanted to go back and do some journaling, never got around to it, but it doesn't matter because I know what's what, you know. And then you can see it from when I came back. It just, from about here, it's just not, it's forced. I was trying to make it be like it was before, and it just went downhill from there. I mean, just these 2 pages didn't do too badly, but you can see I'm already getting into a routine of right at the top, stick something at the bottom, right at the top, stick something at the bottom. And I know I did this on those days. I wasn't even going back and filling in stuff afterwards. I was literally, oh, there's only a few lines on there, I'll stick something here. That was literally the mindset I automatically dropped into. And I was like, this is not working. I can see it's not working. It's not what I want. It's not the way I want to work. It's not the way I need to work. So I started October. This was, I got October 3rd. And straight away, I did it again. And I was like, okay, breaks. And I tossed it aside and said, right, I'm just going to go and do my junk journaling and forget about bullet journaling for now. Get back to it when I've got time. Well, that was a mistake for a start, because the reason I didn't have time to bullet journal was because I was so freaking busy and I wasn't organised and I was trying to do too many things at once because I wasn't using my bullet journal. So then I had this epiphany of, hold on. And you can see, I literally said, okay, you know what? 14th, I'm going to start from there. Monday, fresh start. Thank you, Aries full moon. And I started with, I kept this page because I hadn't used it. So I thought, well, I'm not wasting it. And I wasn't going to tear a page out. So I just left this there as a reminder of what not to do. I don't want my pages to look like I wrote a list of to-dos at the top and then I stuck a picture at the bottom to fill in space. That's not what I want from my journal. So that's my reminder. So the first thing I did, instead of just getting all gung-ho and jumping into it, I started with my bullet journal reboot. The basics that I absolutely needed to have in my journal. And then I did my yes, no and maybe thing that I'd done before, which was, it was based off of his exercise of what I want to do, what I should be doing and what I have to do, or whatever it was. I didn't find that useful because I don't really have anything that I have to do. I've got lots of things I should be doing or that I want to do, and that kind of breaking up of tasks isn't really useful for me, but that's just because of the way my brain works. You know, I've got squirrels jumping all over the place, remember. So I started with basics, and this was like a brain dump. What do I actually need? So I need a monthly calendar, and then I need my astrology and events. So that's what these are. Okay, this is what I had for September, and I went through August. I went back to August because September was a failure. I went back to August and I looked at what I did and I was like, yes, the calendar with the astrology next to it, that worked, that I need. So there it is. So just ignore this page in the middle. There is my, okay, astrology and this. Once I've finished with this page, I can just fold it in or something if I want to, or I could even tear it out if I need to, but I'm leaving it there as a reminder of this is not what I need. Plus that dog's really cute. I mean, come on. I also needed an ongoing tasks list. Now, the October task list, the concept of a month and then a task list for the month, I find redundant. I've split it up in a different way, and I'll show you that in a second. What I really needed was a list of the stuff for the Halloween Chronicles, which is my October class. I needed a list for my When Frogs Sing class, October, November, December. And I needed a list for the special project I'm doing this month, which is my rejig of my website, my shop, and my class site. And then I needed to have a list of YouTube stuff et al., you know, all the stuff other than class stuff that I do. I always call that YouTube, but it's not really YouTube. It's like YouTube, Twitch, commissions, all that kind of stuff. Other stuff that I'm working on. And then I needed daily logs. You started your A5 again, Cody. That's why you love the bullet journal. One week I feel I might need a weekly and then the next I don't. Yeah. You're finding it redundant. Redundant implies that everything you're doing in your bullet journal you're already doing somewhere else. But the thing about the bullet journal is if you don't need it, you don't need it. You can just put it aside and pick it back up when you do need it. Yeah, the monthly task list doesn't work for me because I have too many things that I have to track in the month. So what I've done is I set up When Frogs Sing. So this is for October. I set up, because I have a set amount of things that I'm doing, and I have a set number of things that I do for each one. So a PDF needs to be planned, it needs to be written up, it needs to be proofread, it needs to be uploaded, it needs to be added to the class. The live classes, they need to be planned if they're chatty ones, because I have to go through, like this one was for House 10, which was the PDF. So I have to do the work for the PDF so that we can talk about it. I have to make sure I've got the research, and we need to make sure I've got all the information that I need, what I'm going to talk about, and so on. And then once the video's finished, I need to download it, I need to edit it, I need to upload it, I need to put it in all the different places. You know, I've got a set number of things that I have to do for my class. Patreon class, it's all the same stuff now. So I wrote out what we were doing, and as you can see, I am pretty much caught up, and I know what the things are. I don't need to write down, have I edited this? Have I uploaded this? Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? I know where I'm up to, and if I don't know, I can check. But like this, as soon as I get to the point where I need to do something, if it's not due yet, I put it on this down here, just note it down. And once it is due, I transfer it to my daily log. I'll explain that in a second. But for instance, the 17th, oh, actually, here's a good one. Tomorrow's class, the 17th. Now, I can't set up my class links until I've done my live classes because YouTube, are you listening to me? Your live stream is a mess, okay? Nobody pushes out a beta that doesn't work and gets rid of the original before the beta is finished, okay? You don't release a beta as a new product. Anyway, I can't do anything on YouTube until I've finished this session and got all that sorted out, then I can do tomorrow's. So I can't do that basically until tomorrow morning. So it's down here, it's on this list. Once I know I can set it up, so as soon as I finish this class or this session, I can then put it on my to-do list for today. Oh, tomorrow I need to set up the class. So that's how I'm doing that. Because I know the next step. All I'm tracking is whether I've finished everything. So I can look at this and go, oh, everything in the class is up to date because the next thing I've got to do is set up tomorrow's class. So everything is up to date. So when somebody says to me, oh, I can't find this upload for such and such, I'm like, well, it's all been done. So it's there somewhere. Where are you looking for it? You know, 9 times out of 10, it would be they're looking for it in the wrong place, or it just hasn't been ticked off the list. So this will be October and November, and I'll probably set up a separate one for December because I've got 2 classes in December as well. And then this one, excuse me, is my Halloween class. Same thing. Now the only difference here is that I've got 3 segments for each one. And because I'm currently adminless, I'm doing 2 jobs again, so I'm behind with some of this. So I'm having to catch up. I'm playing catch up on some of it. So I think somebody mentioned earlier that on the class stuff now, hang on a second. Ugh, hair in my throat. On the class stuff now, you can see if it's complete or not. So if it's ticked off as complete, it's finished. I've done everything I need to do with it. And it should be added to the master list for October or the class. If it has an overdue stamp on it, doesn't mean it's overdue. It just means that I haven't finished uploading everything yet. Because there isn't really any overdue in my classes. You know, things go up when they go up. But purely because I'm a bit behind with this, I've decided to split it up into the 3 sections because most of the PDFs actually are already written. I'm down to about here. I've just got to tick them all off. All the audio is recorded already, but I haven't edited it all. So instead of marking it off as well it's started, I've decided to just start from, when I know it's edited, which ones have I done and uploaded. So this one is currently in progress. This is the one I'm editing at the moment. Okay. Finished goes green, yeah. Finished goes green and not finished goes red. Which is really useful. Simple traffic light system. Works great. And then because I'm doing the class alongside, this is where I've really got behind, is doing my own pages for the class. I don't do, like I've said before, I don't do monkey see, monkey do. So I don't do a page myself and say, here you go, and then you copy my page and boom, we're all done. That's not how I work. I give you the information, you do your own page, I do my page, and then we all share it together and go, oh, that's really cool. You know, we help each other with ideas. But I had intended to do my pages as I went, so that you had videos to do, to watch while you were working on your own stuff. And I'm behind with that because I haven't had a chance to do my own pages. So that's something, but it's not so far behind because I caught it early. I'm not so far behind that I can't catch up. This was something I learned the last time this happened. Again, my admin stopped doing what she needed to do right in the middle of my busiest season, and unfortunately the first time she didn't tell me because she thought she could handle it, hashtag Leo, and it wasn't until she realised how much work she was going to have to do for the other things she'd taken on that she realised she was not going to be able to do it. So then of course I had to find somebody else, and so on and so forth. And then this time round, but I've got an admin, but she's had to take personal time, and you can't avoid that. You know, she needs personal time. She needs personal time. She volunteers. You know, it's not like I'm paying her to be here. So now I have to do it again and find someone to help out again. So and until I have someone to help out, I have to do all the stuff myself. So the stuff that I was getting on swimmingly with is now behind. That's how it goes. But that's why I needed my bullet journal, is because I was getting to the point where I was like, I was up to here, okay, in stuff I needed to do, and if it got any more or it get any more behind, I was going to start drowning. So and last time I waited till I was sort of up here before I admitted I needed help, and this time I'm like, whoa, this water's getting a bit high. I think we're going to have to ask for some help. So I've learned that lesson. I'm only a little bit behind. At the moment, I think if I can get if I work Sunday, which I don't normally do, but you know, in order to catch up, I'll do it. If I work Sunday and Saturday morning and half of Monday, I can catch up. So it's not too bad yet. But again, that feeling of overwhelm, that's why my bullet journal had to come back and why I had to have it. And the thing is, this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. The reason I had to think about, but what do I actually need from my bullet journal, as opposed to why isn't this working for me anymore, is because in August, I was on top of everything. KK was handling all the admin and stuff. I was handling all the creative side, and I was up to date with everything. Everything was going swimmingly. I was even at the point where I was starting to get ahead of stuff, which was great because that meant I was able to take on some more paid work and some more commissions and stuff, and everything was going great. I had enough time to be able to take some time off. Fantastic. Came back in September, still going, but then it started going downhill. And as my admin realised that she was going to need to take some time off, and as I realised that I was getting overwhelmed and things were not working and I was not organised and what the hell is going on, oh my God, that's when I realised that that's why my bullet journal wasn't working, because I was stressed and overwhelmed and trying to do 2 jobs, whereas before I was absolutely knackered and needing a holiday, but everything was under control, everything was being done, everything was organised, I was ahead, everything felt good, I just needed a break. And now I'm at this point where I feel good, I feel great, I'm energised, I've got loads to do, I've got loads of ideas, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that, I should be planning Christmas Chronicles by now, and I can't because I'm doing somebody else's job. So it's 2 different ways of working, and if it's 2 different ways of working, then my bullet journal needs to be different. You see? Does that make sense? We've come full circle, see? I told you it would make sense. So, tracker for class, my ongoing class. Tracker for my Chronicles class, which is a 1 month one-off. And since this is only going to need 1 page, I just shoved my YouTube stuff on here because that's basically live stuff, and all I do is, you know, noting down what I'm going to do or ideas or things like that. I don't have to do film this, edit this, do this, do this, do this, because I don't work like that. So this is just notes and ideas, basically. And then I've got, because I'm doing the website in Trello, all of this stuff, I've got a 2-page spread for getting my website sorted, Trello stuff, class organisations, the class launches, all the discounts and codes and stuff, because this time of year is when I do all my new class reveals, and up until the end of the year I always do discounts and stuff. So you can find my new shop at RhomanysRealm.org.uk. It's all up and running. And if you want discounts, you can get the Halloween Chronicles and the Christmas Chronicles, which is the 2 1-month classes. Let me call them 30-day classes, it's easier. The 2 30-day classes, one for Halloween, we're doing creepy monsters and mythical monsters, and Christmas Chronicles, I haven't released what it's going to be yet. But if you want to do those 2 and you use the code bonfire5, all one word with a number at the end, you can get buy one get one free. And if you want to sign up for When Frogs Sing 2020 in advance, which is next year's whole year class Patreon type stuff, you can do that, and if you sign up for 2020 and Halloween Chronicles and Christmas Chronicles, you get one of the Christmas Chronicles free. So that code is Frogs Freebie. Okay, so basically you get one free, whichever one you sign up for. And the reason I've split it is because obviously I've got a lot of patrons who are doing When Frogs Sing on a pay monthly basis to spread the cost. So they can do the Halloween Chronicles and the Christmas Chronicles and still get the benefit of the free class. So there's that. So this is now stuff I need to do for my website. Now I also use Trello to organise what I need to do for my website. This is more going to be for stuff that I want to look into. How do I want to, like, for instance, one of the things I need to set up is how to do my bookings. I can do bookings online for my astrology, tarot, and astrology and tarot readings and stuff like that. But what dates and times am I free to be able to do that so that people can book their own times? That's the kind of stuff I need to do. So that's going to be for that sort of thing, as opposed to the just, oh, I need to add the readings to the website, I need to add policies and returns to the website and all that kind of thing. The next thing I needed, of course, was my daily logs. Now, I wanted to avoid the whole 3 things at the top that I need to do, a couple of notes and a picture at the bottom to fill up the space. So I decided to change it. And I've also discovered that I need to do something else. The way my brain works is that, hang on. The way my brain works is that if it's not called the right thing, I don't use it the right way. An example being the index. An index does not go at the back, at the front. An index goes at the back and it's very detailed. Contents go at the front, and that's an overview of where to find things, right? So I relabeled the index contents, and now I use it because it's not completely confusing me going, but it's an index, but it's not. But what do I want to put in there? But do I need to put that? But I don't know how to use it. I don't know. It's just me. I think that's just a me thing. But I mentioned before that I tried to do the days and just do a day and then, you know, start the next day, start the next day. Some people can work like that. I can't, because I was immediately looking at the top here and going, oh, there's Monday and there's Thursday. Where's Tuesday and Wednesday? Because my brain doesn't automatically think linearly, it thinks across. So here's what we're going to do. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I think for now this will work. For this month, this is going to work. Instead of having a daily log, I'm having a weekly log. Okay. I'm using it exactly the same way as my daily log. I'm just not writing in separate days. I'm not splitting things off. And the way I'm handling it, if I want to do particular things... Oh, I did my grocery shopping yesterday, so I can cross all that off. Let's give that a box. So this is work in progress, and it's a priority. That's done. That's done. So I cross these out once I know they're done, so that they don't stand out as priorities, if that makes sense. I'm not looking for squiggles, I'm looking for stars. My next thing as a BuJo Reboot. There we go, that's that one. Now I can half tick that off, because what I do is once it's finished here and it finishes doing whatever it is that YouTube does with it, rendering, processing, that's the word, processing. I then download it and put it on my Vimeo, and my patrons and subscribers, my patrons and class students get the ad-free version. So if they want to go and rewatch it, they can. So once I've finished here, I will mark that off as finished, and I will add to the list the next step. So the next step will be download when it's finished processing. Once I've finished processing it, the next step will be upload and link to patrons and class. Okay, so that is how I'm avoiding just an ongoing to-do list, because I don't need to write down every step right now. I don't need to write down, do the live bullet journal session, YouTube at 5. Download YouTube session. Upload YouTube session. Link YouTube session to Patreon. Link YouTube session to class. I don't need to do that. All I need to do is know where I'm up to now. I know what the next step is. So to avoid just having an endless list of to-dos, I don't put all the future steps. I'm doing the step I've got now. So as soon as I finish this, I'll tick that off, and I'll put, you know, it'll need like 2 hours to process anyway, so I can't do it straight away. I'll put, you know, download YouTube, upload to Vimeo. The other thing I'm doing to avoid a lengthy to-do list is if something doesn't need to be done today, I make a note of it as opposed to make it a to-do. So, for instance, I bought a new duvet cover. I don't need it at the moment. It's a second one of one I've already got, so that when I need to take the other one off and wash it, I've immediately got a new one, okay? But I haven't taken it out of the packaging because I don't need it yet. But it's on a 14-day approval, so I do need to take it out and check it that it's not faulty or anything, that it's the right one, etc., and then put it away. But that I haven't put as a to-do, because I don't need to do it today. I've just made a note, need to check the duvet cover. I need to check my payout updates. I need to find an extra admin and what I've done so far. But I'm not doing it as a to-do. It's not a task that I need to sit down and get done. Whereas all of this stuff is tasks. Does that make sense? I guess you could think of it in terms of stuff that I need to do today, I class as a task. So it gets a little checkbox. If I don't need to do it today, it gets put down as a note. And then when I come to do it, and I think, oh, I'll do that today, I'll change it into, actually, I've done the payout updates, so I can change that into a little box. So I've decided I'll do it today now. I've actually done it this morning, so I can cross it off. Does that make sense? I know my brain is weird, but so now I've put here Monday, October 1st, Monday 14th of October. I haven't put another date yet. What I thought I would do was wait and see whether I need the full 2 pages for the week, whether I need 1 page for the week, whether I get to Thursday afternoon and suddenly I'm full and I need a Friday page as well. I don't know. Originally, I thought I was going to need a full page for the week because you tend to think like that. If you're, I don't know, it's just the way planners make you think. They make you think you need a 2-page spread. What I've actually found is that I start off every day strong with a list of things and notes. And I start off the week strong with a list of things and notes. And then as the week goes on, I stop using my bullet journal. Yes, a running weekly log. So instead of having a monthly log of tasks and a daily log of tasks, events and things, I've kind of combined the two into a weekly log. That's a really good way of explaining it. Yes, thank you, Burgess. Because the monthly log, the amount of stuff I have to do this month, my monthly log, before I even started the month, would be 6 pages long. What's the point in that? It's not helpful. It just overwhelms you before you even get going. The daily log is too much minutiae because I already have a list of things I need to do. All I need to do is pull from that list and say, right, this is what I'm going to get done today. This is what I can do today. This is what I have to do today because it's got a deadline, you know? So I'm trying to do it that way because otherwise I find, or have found since I came back, I didn't originally, but have found since I came back in September, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I use my bullet journal religiously. And then I pick it up on Monday and go, oh, look at that. I haven't used my journal at all since last week. And I didn't even realise I was doing it. Joe, hey! Long time no see. I didn't even realise I was doing it until I stopped asking the question, why is it not working for me anymore? And started asking, what do I need from my bullet journal? And when I looked at my daily logs, I was like, well, I need space to put things down at the beginning of the week. And then I need time and somewhere to organise what I'm going to do from that list during the day. So that's what I've done. Thank you, Burgess. That is a better explanation than I was heading for. I've got rid of the monthly log, I've got rid of the daily log, and I've merged them together as a weekly log. And what I've found is that every morning I sit and I write down a few things and I add notes during the day. And Monday is when the majority of what my stuff is that gets written down. And then Tuesday, I put down the things that I'd forgotten. And then today I haven't written anything down. It's been going back over the list and going, right, what can I pull forward today? What's due today? Coming back here and going, okay, what do I need to do? Oh, tomorrow that PDF is due, so I'm going to have to read that PDF. So I can put that on the list for PDF. What's it called? Can't remember the word. Spell check I'll put. I know what I mean. PDF spell check, sirens, etc. And then because it's due on a particular day, I put the date down, the 17th. Now, the other thing I found is that I don't work on days. I work on dates. And I found this from keeping a weekly log. So I don't think of tomorrow as Thursday. It is Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. I had to check. I don't think of tomorrow as Thursday. I think of tomorrow as the 17th, which means it is a video class video, so I know immediately what that is, and then, oh, it's a odd number, so that's a Halloween Chronicles day. So I've got something that I need to make sure I've put up for that. What I don't need to do is know that it's Thursday, because I don't have anything specifically that I do on a Thursday. I know that's a weird way of working, but I don't work regular hours. I don't work regular days. My weekend is Sunday and Monday. But unlike a lot of people have weekends and they have Saturday and Sunday, but they'll work Saturday sometimes. I don't even do that. I have Sunday and Monday, and I work Monday sometimes. So everything is a bit backwards. Everything is a bit weird. I don't keep regular hours. I don't specifically do anything on one particular day of the week. So it's not relevant to me to have a daily log. Just everything that I need to do this week. And every day I make sure that I check in, write down anything that I think extra that I need to do, or that I could do, or I want to do, or whatever, and just go from there. And then I'll fill in this, like, if I get to Friday and I'm down here, then that'll be, you know, that'll be all I need. Your schedule runs monthly instead of weekly. Yeah, most people, I think, their schedule runs per week and their to-dos run per day. My schedule runs on a rotating month, and my to-dos need to be done this week. Yes. That's a good way of putting it, Sarah. Breaking down weekly is more approachable. Yeah, monthly is too overwhelming, and daily is too, oh, but I need to do this at 4 o'clock kind of thing, you know? You started a weekly to-do of weekly boring tasks, and then you're free to write daily logs of everything else that's going on. Yeah. Running checklist style might work better for you. Yeah, you've got to play with it. And, you know, just because this is what's working for me now doesn't mean that next month, when I'm hopefully got an admin again and I'm back on top of stuff and I'm caught up, that doesn't mean that this is going to work next month. It might be that I can go back to my dailies. The other thing, though, that has helped is that, or that has changed, is how I use it. Because, yes, I stick things in my bullet journal, you know, odd bits and pieces. And I'm like, oh, there's a cute picture. It tends to be dogs. Be more dog. That's my thing. Be more dog. I tend to stick astrology stuff in and just random bits and pieces. But of course, this was over the summer when I wasn't really keeping a journal. I was just noting down stuff that I'd done and keeping random bits. And now, of course, I'm bullet journaling. So all my random bits, you know, if I'd found that little picture of a dog, that little dog there that I put at the beginning of October, if I'd found him earlier, I wouldn't have put him in October. I would have put him in my junk journal box and say, oh, here go my junk journal. He might still go in my junk journal. When I'm finished with this page, I might take him off, you know. There's nothing on that bottom of that page, so I might cut him off and put him in my junk journal, because that's where I'm doing my journaling. So I'm relearning that bullet journaling is what you need it to be when you need it. There's no prescribed way of doing it, and it doesn't have to always be the same. And just because this is what you did last month or last week or yesterday doesn't mean that you can't change it and do something different today. Whether it's just something that you want to do or something you need to do, like I've had to do in order to feel like you're not overwhelmed, or whether it's just something that you think, you know, sorry, I'm bored of doing things that way. I'm just going to do today's daily page completely differently. You know, if that's what you feel like doing, then you've got to do it. That's the point of the bullet journal, isn't it? That you've got that freedom to do it. But we're all so entrenched in, I have my planner and this is how my planner is set out and this is how I use my planner and that's what it looks like, that as soon as we find our planners not working for us anymore, we need to know why it's not working for us. What do we need to change? What is it that doesn't work about it? How do we need to redo it? How do we get back to where we were? And it's not about getting back to where you were. It's about getting the mindset back of feeling like you've got control of things again. And how do you actually get that happening? And the way I've got it happening is to work out what I really needed. And effectively, I guess you could say that I've gone to October and I've migrated my journal, because I'm not really using any of this now. I'm still using the contents page. I don't use a forward planner. I don't need it. Everything that forward plans goes in my phone. Appointments go in my phone. Everything like that goes in my phone. And all the lists I had here, you know, I have a list of YouTube stuff. In fact, it's still marked here. There's my YouTube list. Okay. But instead of just leaving it there and having to keep going back and looking for it, I've started a new one here. Where is it? And I've threaded it. So I've got 135. Oh, I go back to page 135 and here's all the list of stuff that I already had. So I can then decide, oh yes, that's still valid, that's still valid. No, I'm not going to do that one anymore. Oh, I'll do that one this week. I've done the same with my Patreon. Instead of trying to fit October's back here, I said, okay, well, I'm calling the end on that one. Move to page 149. So if I go to page 149, I find the October stuff. The next part that should have continued here, but it didn't. So I guess I've done kind of a mid-book migration. But sometimes that's what you have to do. And I likened it to cleaning your desk. You know, some days you just wake up and you look at your desk and you think, what I really want to do is just sweep all this onto the floor and clean my desk and start from there. And some days that's what you've got to do. And I kind of have effectively done that with my bullet journal. I've not forgotten, but I've left behind everything that I was doing that was working. I've accepted the fact that that is not working anymore, and I've rejigged it so that it now is working. I'm back where I feel I need to be. I'm back on top of things. I'm slowly catching up. And I've gone from at the beginning of the week, well, not the beginning of the week, Friday, I was not waving but drowning. I was looking at things and going, I'm so behind. I've got so much to do. I don't know where to start. What do I do? And actually, I'm not that far behind at all. 2 days and I can catch up. Being 2 days behind on a schedule like I've got is nothing. Put in a bit of extra work over the weekend, boom, we're back to where we need to be. Because I've caught it early enough, because I recognised the signs. And that, I think, is where my bullet journal really helped, because as soon as my bullet journal wasn't helping or wasn't working, I really should have picked it up sort of this time in September. And I kind of wish I had, but at the same time, I've learnt a lesson. So I'm okay with that. That's where you are with your craft table right now. Yeah, take it all off and start again. Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to do that. Just take it all off, put it in a box, start again. Put back what you know you need, and then put away what you know you don't. Says the woman who has a craft lunch going on over here. Because, again, I haven't had time to tidy it up. And I'm not going to get time to tidy it up anytime soon. There's no point. I mean, I could put on my list, tidy my side table, tidy up side table, put shit away, make some more space. I could put it on there, but I'll just end up feeling guilty for not doing it because I know I'm not going to have time to do it. I've got so many other things that are more important that it's just not going to get done. What's the point in even writing it down? If it's not useful, don't write it down. That's his thing for bullet journaling, isn't it? If it's not useful, don't write it down. So I will wait until I know that I've got a little bit of breathing space, that if I take an hour or so to take everything off my desk, clean my desk and put it all back, I'm not going to get behind on something. You need to clean your room. Starting tonight or tomorrow. Yeah. sometimes just cleaning up your environment is your self-care for the day. But scheduling self-care when you know you don't really have time to commit to it, you know, if you've got a really busy day and as soon as you get back from work you've got a meeting, and as soon as you've got to go to the PTA, or you've got to go to a class thing or a school thing, or you've got an evening class, and then you've got a phone call or whatever, there's no point in saying, right, tonight I'm going to have a long hot bath. That's not how you do it. You go, right, I need a long hot bath, I need to relax. Friday night, I don't have anything scheduled. Friday night, glass of wine, long hot bath. That's going to be me. You know, you plan it in. So that's what I'm doing with that kind of stuff at the moment, because I don't have time to sit here and take all that stuff off, go through it, clear the desk, clean it, put it all back, and get organised, because that's just going to put me even further behind, and that will stress me out. Being further behind with what I already know I need to do because I'm already behind, that's when I start to feel overwhelmed. That's when I start to lose control. You've migrated cleaning your craft table for days, so now you're aggravated and refuse to write it down again. Yeah. No, see, I'm more of the Ryder Carroll version of that. If I have to keep migrating it and it's not getting done, do I actually really need to do it? Is it really that much of a priority if I've migrated it for like 5 days in a row rather than scheduling it to do? Either there's something wrong with my scheduling, i.e. other things are taking priority and have to take priority, or I don't really want to do it. In which case, is it the end of the world if I don't do it? Not really. Eventually it'll get so cluttered it'll all fall on the floor and I'll have to do it. That's how I look at it. So, that's my bullet journal update. That's where I'm up to at the moment. I did start on saying, of course, the big thing now is because I'm not journaling in here. I'm doing to-dos and notes, but I'm not journaling in it. My journaling is all going in my junk journal. So I expect now, apart from maybe an odd photo or something, like I accidentally printed 2 photos of Maddie, this exactly the same. I'm sure Maddie's photo will end up in here at some point when I've got a space to put it, because I'm not going to put 2 in my junk journal that are identical. But I suspect from now until Christmas this will be more just writing, which means I might well get through all of this because I've got a lot of writing to do. But the writing that I need to do, like this is all October stuff, and some of the writing I now need to do is for planning for Christmas. My forward planning is not just this, like this. This is why this doesn't work. A future log doesn't work for me because my forward planning is not this. My forward planning is Christmas Chronicles is running in December. My actual planning is, okay, what are we doing for the planning section? What are we doing for the journaling section? What are we doing for the writing section? What are we doing for the videos? How am I doing this? How am I doing that? What am I organising? What's the theme? That's the planning, not when am I going to schedule it, because, you know, it's Christmas Chronicles. It's going to be Christmas, isn't it? December. Duh. That doesn't take a lot of time. So that's just in my calendar. So what I think I'll do, rather than now having future planning in the middle of December, for December in the middle of October, I think what I'll do is I'll start from the back. I've said for a few times now with different people, why don't you like literally just start from the back and work forward? And I got a couple of bits in here that I've, you know, where I've made scribble notes, where I was doing something that I didn't want at the front of my journal. So I think I'll probably do that here and start my December planning here for the class, which will probably take up about that much. So I reckon by the end of the year I'll have met in the middle. That's the theory. Let's see if it works, shall we? I think it will. So this is my just my planner now, rather than my journal. But I'm still journaling bits because I don't always get to journal. Like my bullet journal. If something happens today that I want to journal about, I'll make a note of it in today. Like in the weekly log here. Oh, such and such happened. But like I did before, I just put a time and date and do a quick note. Hey Murph. Yeah, I'll put a time and date and just do a quick note of what happened when. That way, when I come to do my junk journal, when I want to put that in my junk journal, I will know what day and date it happened on, because I won't necessarily get time to do it today. I hope that makes sense. My junk journal is mostly, obviously, my junk journal is my creative outlet because it's too flipping cold to go outside and sketch. And I like sketching from life. So my journal in the evening, in the winter, tends to be a lot more cut and paste and sketching random things. Like this was Toad for Mab's Drawloween Club and stuff like that. And then I will go back. I leave spaces for journaling, and then I go back and I fill them in. So I'll come to here and I'll go, yeah, 11th of October, such and such and happened, and I'll put a date and I'll write in. It doesn't matter that it wasn't done on that particular day. I just leave little spaces, and I don't leave whole big spaces for journaling because I've got tiny writing. As for instance, that for most people would be probably that much on a page. That's like 2.5 inches by 1 inch. I've got like 15 words on a line here. You know, that's how tiny I write. So I don't need a lot of space. I can do a whole page and then just leave a little bit. And like when I've got a slightly bigger space, I could put, like I've got a photo there. I could layer that photo over that. Or even put it over here. And write on that bit. You know, depends how much I want to write. But at the moment, I'm very much into just cut and paste and play with paper. That's what I do. And then I sketch occasionally. I was quite proud of that frog, actually. He's kind of cool. He's not finished yet. I was going to paint him, but I haven't got around to it yet. Again, this was something I found in a magazine. I quite liked the picture. I quite liked the sentiment. Normally, I would have gone, oh, look, that fits there. Stick it down. But I didn't. I came over here and I said, oh, that'll go in my bullet journal somewhere. I'll just stick it there and think of something to do with it later. Yeah. I can fit an entire sentence in the space that Burgess uses for one word. Oh. And it have to be a short quote. So, any bullet journal, let's do a quick bullet journal surgery. Anybody else got something happening with their bullet journal that they need some advice with? Let's see if the community can help you with it. Your A5 has become your Omni journal, and you put your future log in the back because you pull out those pages and you're going to put them in the index back there. Ah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so your future log, if you get to the end of your book, you can just take it out and put it in the next book. That's a good idea. I've never understood how future log went before everything else. Mind confused. That doesn't make sense to me. But a future log doesn't really help me because my brain already knows that I'm doing Halloween Chronicles in October. I'm doing Christmas Chronicles in Christmas. When Frog Sing 2020 starts in January. I already know all that stuff. I don't need to write it down. What I need to do is plan the individual sessions, and that, you know, I could need 4 lines, or I could need 5 pages. You just want a new cover for yours because you're in a mood. Well, I've got a cover for mine, you see. I love my cover. I have a plain one like this as well, which is like the Midori Traveller's Notebook cover. But because it's a hardback, I can also just whip it out of here and just use it on its own as well. So, you know, I just whip it in and out of the cover if I get bored. Which is the only thing I'm wondering about having a soft cover next year. I had kind of decided I wanted a soft cover so that I could put it in here and it would be lighter. But then I'm thinking, well, what if I want to not have the cover on? Then it's going to be soft cover. That's not going to be so good. So I don't know. Kind of back to where I started again now. But I don't need a new book yet, so I'll worry about it when I get there, right? Because currently, and this is what I'm really enjoying, I've got to say, currently I've got half the book left. I'm halfway through the book. I know that I will probably finish this book this year. However, I don't need to worry about what next year's planner is going to be because it's going to be one of these. So what I've got to do is make sure that I get one in December in time for it to arrive, in time for me to need to use it, because I'll probably set it up over Christmas so that I don't have to do it in January. Even if I don't need it till February, I'll set it up over Christmas. You switched covers around. Yeah, just switching your cover around is a pretty good idea. That's why I'm using this one for my junk journal, because this one actually is an A5. Whereas these are all moleskin and built so they take 5 cahiers with room to spare, which is why they fit the moleskin expanded. So the 3 of these that I've got work better for the moleskins. They're nice and neat and trim. Whereas this one keeps, because of the trifold, it keeps all the randomness of the A5s and the fact that nothing is even at the edges. It kind of protects the edges and they don't get damaged. And I like that. So I love this as my junk journal. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. The back pages in the Logitech are perforated, so it's easy to put pages that are going to be transferred into another book in the back. Good idea. Yeah, good thinking, Batman. Tracking progress of projects. The hamsters in my head keep telling me that I need to start another bullet journal, so what to do with the incomplete ones. Finish them first. Be ruthless! Twice I've almost got to the point where I went, shall I just get a new one and start again? I nearly did it the other day. Shall I just get a new one and start again from October? No. I've got half a book here. I'm going to finish the damn thing. Either I'm going to finish it or it's going to fall apart. It hasn't fallen apart yet and I'm halfway through, so I don't think it's going to fall apart. But are you sure you answer this one all the time? But what brand is the Ravenclaw cover? It's not a brand. It was one of a kind made for me by Kate, the perpetual student. Before she started doing her MA, she was going to set up a little side project making these one of a kind things, and she offered to make me one to review and give her feedback on, and, you know, tell her if I thought it was worth her doing it. And then she started doing an MA and she never started doing these. So I think I'm one of only about 4 people who've got a journal from her. And the other one I've got is from Ray Blake, who makes one of a kind journals for 1 or 2 people when they say, I really need a journal and I'd like one of yours. So yeah, you can't have this. Sorry. You can't even get this make because it is made by, what did she call it? Phoenix Willow Designs, I think it's called. But she didn't ever get it started because she's obviously doing an MA, she's doing a master's, she doesn't have time. So it might be something she comes back to, and I'm sure, you know, for people that she knows, I'm sure if I went to her and said, oh, I'd really like another one, can you make me another one? She'd find a way to do it, but it would probably take 6 months to get it done. So yeah, you can't have this one. Tough. I love this. It's gorgeous. I would much rather have a bullet journal, a TN cover that is absolutely unique to me. And I've got, actually the other one isn't unique to me. The other one, my mum has one identical, which I kind of like. That the only two that are like that, my mum has one and I have one. But I would rather have two unique covers than 50 different ones, just in all different leathers and colours and whatever. I don't need that many, and I don't want that many. Can't make a BuJo work for me. I just need too much advanced planning. Yeah, if you've got a lot of scheduling and stuff to do in advance, then it doesn't work unless you're using a digital planner. My advanced scheduling is pretty much set in stone, and because I have to share it with other people online, I might as well do that digitally. Therefore, I don't need to duplicate it in my book. So yeah, I can see why if you've got a lot of advanced scheduling to do or advanced stuff to do, it wouldn't work. Considering just keeping monthly logs, so I'm considering making one 2020 book for monthly pages and then just a cheaper paper for weekly and daily pages. If you've got monthly logs, do you need weekly and daily? That would be my question. Look at that first. Because, I mean, I know for me, monthly and daily was working great. But for the moment, monthly and daily would be overkill. It's too much. I can't, everything would be in the monthly and it would be too much to look at. So having a weekly one is doing better for me. And then I don't need to break it up per day because the weekly kind of can be done like that. It's all on one page. It's not like it's a big list. Getting a new one doesn't work, so I'll take your advice. Yeah, force yourself to finish the one you've got. And then say, okay, so when I get to the end of this, or before I get to the end of this, I'm going to have a really good think. I'm going to decide exactly what I want. And if the book that I decide that I need for my next one is different or whatever, or it's really expensive. You might decide that you want a Hobonichi for the next one and it's really expensive and you couldn't justify it before. Well, as long as you promise yourself that that's what you're going to use and that's all you're going to use, then that's okay. That's, you know, that's justifiable. Justifiable expense. I don't mind spending the 15, 17 quid that it'll cost me to get a new Moleskine Expanded. Because this Moleskine Expanded is going to last me, well, it started in June. Assuming it's going to last me to the end of the year, it's 6 months. And it will be full, it will be finished. I would have justified the cost of it. Because if it's, what, it cost me £15 because it was on special. £15 over 6 months is £2.50 a month. Is that right? 2 6s are 12, and then 3. Yeah, £2.50 a month. Is £2.50 a month a justifiable expense for a planner? If I'm using it, yes. And I am using it, so. You're determined to finish what you're currently using. Well, you know, you could. This is where being a junk journaler comes in handy, because where you've got those books where you started them but you never got into them, if it's blank paper, or even if it's not blank paper, you can always cut it out and use it in your junk journal. Or swap it with other people. You want a hobo, but to get one to use only for 3 months isn't worth it. So you're using your A5, yeah. I started off okay with my Hobonichi, my rejigged Hobonichi. I didn't feel any guilt using it whatsoever because it was from like 2016, I think. And it's a complete mess. It's a total mess. I redid all the dates. I covered them out with, sticky marker and, I went for it. I didn't care that it was the wrong year. I just rewrote the dates for what I wanted and I rejigged it and I rewrote the dates in it and I was perfectly happy with it. And then Brenda sent me the 2 Avex to use because she felt sorry for me not having an up-to-date Hobonichi. And ever since then I've been like, yeah, but I don't want to use those. And I stopped using the Hobonichi. Sorry, Brenda. She sent them to me because she got them and she felt them bad about them sitting going to waste, and now they're sitting not being used here either. Move the monthly log to your diary and 1 line a day for what happened that day. I'm trying to avoid the splitting things out. Oh, excuse me. So anything planner related or organisation related or non-journally stuff goes in here. Whereas journal stuff goes in my junk journal with my creative bits. And currently I don't have a sketchbook. I'm just sketching on loose bits of paper and put it into my junk journal. So you're buying a Hobonichi for next year and why you waited until February to make sure that you're okay with buying a Hobonichi. Yeah, it is a lot of expense, especially if you're over this side of the world. It's a lot of expense. Although Risha, well, I don't know if it will change after October, but the journal shop in the UK ships to Europe, ships international, and they do Hobonichi stuff, right? They don't do all the Hobonichi stuff, but they do quite a bit of it. So if you want the basics, you can probably get it from them and just save yourself the import fees. Because that's what killed me, was having to pay import fees. Cost me nearly £80 the first time I got a Hobonichi. I was like, do I really want this? But it was new and it was all the rage and everybody had one and everybody wanted me to review it. So I spent 80 quid and I haven't bought one since. Everyone I've had since then has been either... Well, I did have a Techo. I went for the Techo the second time around because tiny writing didn't need that much space. How to work out projects in a bullet journal. Well, it depends what you mean by a project. See, my definition of a project is something that I'm working on that's an ongoing thing that I'm not going to... Something I'm working on now that is ongoing, but is not part of what I'm doing now. Oh. The Halloween Chronicles is what I'm doing now. That's this month's class. When Frogs Sing is this month's class and next month's class, and it's ongoing, okay? But the Christmas Chronicles isn't due until the beginning of December. But I need to work on it now because I need to plan it, I need to organise it, I need to get things written up, I need to get stuff recorded in advance, etc., etc. To me, the Christmas Chronicles is a project, whereas the other two are ongoing. They're my day. My When Frogs Sing is my daily stuff, and my Halloween Chronicles, now that it is launched, it's going out over the month, so it's ongoing through the month. Whereas Christmas Chronicles, I need to be working on it, but it's not due until December. So that's what I would call a project. And that's why I plan to start it in the back and work forward. Because I need it to be separate. If it's a project, it should be separate to me. I can't be doing with flipping backwards and forwards to find pages for a project. The bullet journal thing was different. That was an ongoing reading, and once I dealt with one section of it, then I was finished with it and I moved on. So that felt different. That was kind of ongoing notes. And then I'd use like notes up to here, and I'd be on this bit of my book, and I'd do the notes up to there, and that would be my flipping heck, words. That would be my video for that day. And then this would be ongoing notes that I was taking. And then up here I would have, and now I'm doing another video, so that's going to be those notes. And then they're finished. But the ongoing project for Christmas is something that I need to keep separate. So I could do it in a separate book. Or I can just start at the back and work forward. Because this is going to finish in December, so then they'll meet each other in the middle. Plan on making a video of yours once you feel like you're okay with it. Yeah. Cody's very active on Instagram, actually. You should go and follow her. Put your link in, Cody. You wish they had a B6 hobo. Couldn't you chop the bottom off the hobo and have it make it B6? I don't know what an A5-day free is. I haven't kept up with the new releases on hobos because I'm not going to buy one again. I don't use them. I'm happy with my Moleskine Expanded. This is the book I've always wanted. I'm perfectly happy until these stop being made. I don't want to bother with anything else. Thank you. I'm quite happy with this. This is what I've always wanted for a notebook journal type thing. This is it. Sorry, I'm having trouble following the chat because there's so much of it. Took Miss Vicky B's advice and repurposed old journals. Realised I could convert them to junk journals. Yeah, just cut bits out of old journals. As long as you don't start ripping pages out. I mean, like this. If this was... Don't start ripping pages out. Just pull out the parts that are loose. It's like... I wanted some sketchbook pages to use in my bullet journal. My junk journal. I keep getting my bullet journal, my junk journal mixed up. I'm sorry. Instead of ripping pages out of this, which would damage the spine, what I did was I came to the middle of these. I cut that thread. In fact, I can show you on this one. So there's the middle of the thread, okay? And you come back here and you find eventually that one of them is stuck. There we go. There's that one's stuck, okay? So what I can do is I can cut this. Ow! Cut my finger as well. Why do X-Acto blade tops not stay on? What the hell point is an X-Acto blade top that falls off as soon as you touch it? Anyway. So if I cut this, okay, I'm not doing any damage to the spine because these are stitched and glued. So I'm taking them out in the middle of a signature. So now I can pull out this page because there's nothing holding this page in anymore except for it being on the stitches. There you go. And I can do the same with this page because this page is loose. But I can't do it with this page because this page is stuck to that page. But now look, this page is not going anywhere. It hasn't compromised the integrity of the binding. And if you're worried about that looking like that, you could stick a bit of washi over it or something, you know. These are not going anywhere because they're stuck. These are all stuck together, so the binding is still perfectly fine. But I've been able to take out 1, 2 full pages. Oh, that's my scrappy thing. Out of each signature. So I've currently got about six sets of these pages now that I can use in my junk journal as loose sketch paper. Instead of doing something in here and then ripping it out and compromising the binding. So this one just got thinner, which is actually good because it's got so much stuff at the front of it, it was starting to get a bit too thick. Could probably do that with a Hobonichi as well, you know. I bet you could. I bet you could do that with a Hobonichi because it's... they're sewn into signatures, aren't they? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find a... They're a bit more tightly bound, so it's a bit more tricky, but they are stitched and sewn. There's a lot more pages in each signature. You've got to find a place where they're... Yeah, see, that's glued. But they're also sewn. So somewhere in here, there should be the middle of a signature where you can cut along the stitching and pull a couple... There's one. I bet you could cut along that stitching and pull the page out. Look. So that could go in your bullet journal. Oh, well, you know, you're using daily pages. You don't want the dates on there. Well, that's fine. Just chop off that bit and then you've got B6 size, haven't you? You could cut it down to whatever size you want. No, Courtney didn't cut up her Hobonichi. She hacked it apart. She did not cut up her Hobonichi. She hatchet jobbed it. She literally took a knife and went down the spine. That is not how you keep a book together. However, I'll show you on this because I could actually use this in my bullet journal quite easily. So here's the middle of the spine. It's a bit tricky with this because the paper is so thin. You tend to put your knife through the paper, so bear with me a second. Hang on, let me see if I can do it this way. It's a bit easier. There we go. So if I pick it up with one and cut it with the other, that works better. But if you did this with all your books that you've got spare pages in, you'd have loads of junk journal paper fodder. Now this is really thin paper, so I'm going to grab the two pieces together. There we go, there's one. There's two. There's three. That's starting to feel like it's sticking, so let's be a bit more careful. That's stuck. That one won't come out. So there you go, I've got 1, 2, 3 A4 sheets of Tomo River paper. Yeah, it's got numbers on, but I can cut that off because I don't use that anyway. Or I can, you know, put it in my journal and tear it up, use it as journal thing, whatever. You could even chop off the top, chop off the bottom and chop off the side, and then you've got a plain booklet that all it's got is that on it each day. That would work too. So you could literally cut out this bit on and have a booklet. In fact, I don't like the dates, so I'm going to show you what I mean. Because not everybody understands my, oh, you could do this, this and this and this, and wave my arms around. Some people need to be shown what I mean. I totally get that. Some people are visual learners. I'm more of a hand waver. So if I took, start at the spine, because that's the most even straight line you've got. Line it up there, and if I take off underneath that bit of the header, and then I come down here and I take off just above the calendar and quotes, because it's got a symmetrical, no, because it uses a template, I can get rid of these bits, even these bits. Well, not those bits necessarily, but these bits. I could use these in my bullet journal easily. That would be a bit that I can stick down. I can get rid of that, you know. Or I could even turn it over and use the other side of it. So none of that would go to waste for me. And then I've essentially got a book that size left. So if you like little square books, that would be great, wouldn't it? Or if you want it a little bit smaller, just chop that off. Make it like that sort of size book. Repurpose them all, sew them all together, and boom, you got a new journal to play with all sorts of different types of paper. Now for me, I use A5, but I don't always use paper that's the full A5 width, because especially with this thin paper, A5 would be too wide in a junk journal. So what I would do is chop off that little bit at the edge there with the numbers. Just that little corner. Which again, you could use that in your junk journal for, you know, dates, headers, titles, whatever. None of that needs to go to waste either. And this is just from 6 pages. This is just from 6 pages. That's a lot of journal fodder, or junk journal fodder, from 6 pages that I wouldn't otherwise have used. And that is now the right size to go into my junk journal anywhere I feel like putting it. Anywhere I feel like using a big page to write, you know. Just take one of these. That's got numbers on it on the front, obviously, for that and that. But nothing on the others. So I'll flip it up that way so that those numbers will be on the bottom, and then I can cover them up with a bit of washi or something. And let's see, where do I fancy putting in a piece of writing paper? How about there? How about I put a piece of writing paper in that section there? There we go. Now I've got a big page to write on, or sketch on, because I love to sketch on this Hobonichi paper as well. But it's in my junk journal where I'll actually use it instead of sitting in a Hobonichi where I probably won't. Ba-dum-bunch! And I've got 2 Avex and a 2015 one that I can do that with. So that's a lot of Hobonichi paper to add to a junk journal. That's a lot of Tomoe River paper to add to a junk journal, right? Use them as tip-ins, yeah. Or flip-ups. This paper is really good for using as a flip-up. Like I do flip-ups like this with vellum and material. But this paper is really good as a flip-up because you can see through it. But it's not so plain that it's like, oh, you've got a blank page. It's just like, oh, that's interesting. What's under there? You know? You could put this in as a flip-up and just put a bit of washi and a sticker, and it looks like it's meant to be like that, you know? Because it's so thin, you don't really think of it as proper paper. If cut down correctly, the Hobo Cousin could be 5.5 by 2.5. Yeah, 5 by 7, which is a little bit bigger than A6, B6, yes. Because the A5, I believe I'm right in saying that the Moleskine Large is the B5 Slim, the A5 Slim. The Traveller's Notebook is the A5 Narrow, which is that size, but it's the same height as an A5. But if you take the Moleskine and cut it down to the height of a B6, see, you get a B6. So by cutting off the right amount widthways, which would be 2 in from there, 2 in from that, so the 3 grids plus the edge, if you cut that off, plus whatever it is about there, So probably this bit at the bottom, if you cut that bit off there and that bit off there, that would be about B6. Now, obviously on every other page, because this goes right to the edge of the page, you're going to lose out that much on that page, but you'd still have your date. So if you don't need this, if you don't need this tracker, you could still do that. Because when you get over here, you don't need the 7 on both sides. You'd lose that much, but you don't need the 7 on both sides because you've got the 7 there. So you already know what month it is. 1/4 inch off the top, right, which would be that bit there. Get rid of that bit. And 1 inch off the bottom, which would be most of that bit. It'd be about the same as I cut off there. Yeah, and then it's a bit wider than B6. But you could cut it in because the first 2, 3, 4 bits of this plus the edge, you don't really need because all it's got is that on it. That's all that's on it. So if you're not worried about that timeline and you're not worried about having the number 7, you could cut in 1. It's 2 there. Yeah, so you'd have to cut 1 on this side. 1 square in. And then you'd have a B6. Hey, hey, hey! Flatmate's coming. Maddie! Maddie! Scooby, leave it! Maddie! Scooby! Yes, I can make more noise than you can. Be quiet. You wouldn't want to mess up the calendar. Yeah, I don't really care. I would just chop it out, but also I would happily just take out the pages that I could use from this and not worry about the rest of it. So I would quite happily just chop off this and just have loose sheets and then just pull them apart, and you know, that's another option. I mean, it's nice to have full-size sheets. It's lovely to have full-size sheets so that you can add, you know, tip-ins or whatever, but in fact, if you cut that right, you could make a traveller's notebook one out of it. If you cut it, you'd lose the dates on one side, obviously. But you could make a traveller's notebook out of it, or you could make a, you know, if you're a Filofax person, you could cut out that bit there. There's your Filofax paper. So, yeah, there's lots you can do with it. I very rarely have books sitting around that I don't finish or that I don't use. Like, one of the reasons I used to like the Cahiers was because I could use the first half of it and then the whole of the second half was perforated. I think they've changed it, but the whole of the second half used to be perforated. So I used to use, like, the last few pages, I used to start from the back and pull pages out to use as scrap paper or in a junk journal or as an extra tip in or whatever. And then usually I'd get to the middle of the book and it'd be so thick I wouldn't want to use the rest of it anyway, so I'd just pull those out and use them as notepaper because they were already perforated. And if you've got a Hobonichi where you've used the whole Hobonichi but you haven't used the pages at the back, because I don't know if it's in the advert. Yeah, you get these blank pages at the back and you haven't used them. Oh, there's only 3 in here. That's a bit naff. Oh, there's only 2. I know the big Hobonichi has a load of pages. But if you put your ruler along and use one of those perforators, you can create a tear out page and it won't even warp the page. Do you know what I mean? Like the spindle things that you use for fabric. You need a 2mm one for paper, 2mm or 1mm. And you just put your ruler down and score it up and then you've got perforated pages you can pull out. So if you're a purist but you've got spare pages, get that Tomo River paper out of there and start using it for stuff. Thinking about getting the Hobo A5 that comes out next month that has a calendar and then blank pages. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, is that what? Is that the A5 free that Cody was talking about? Is that what you meant, Cody? That because they've got a new one coming out that's just the A5 with the month and then blank pages. That's what a lot of people have been asking for bullet journaling, isn't it? I reckon next year's new release is going to be a B6, because that's what everybody wanted last year was the A5 with the months and the weeks, but no days, just blank paper. And that's what they've brought out this year. So what everybody wants this year is a B6. So I think that's what they'll bring out next year. And of course, by then everybody will be on something else. But even these bits, I mean, if you're using this as decoration, I haven't got a clue what any of this says, but you could still use it, couldn't you, as journal fodder? Background bits and pieces. And that's just from 3 pages. Plenty of journal fodder. Yeah, it won't have the weeks. It's just got the date, the month and blank. That's a good idea, because that's what bullet journalers use, isn't it? The month and then the blank. I could be tempted by that myself, but not for that amount of money. Not when I can buy a Moleskine expanded, which I love. You know when you say a book has to feel right in your hand? That's how the Moleskine expanded feels. It feels right. Good idea is to repurpose journals. Going to go with your advice and finish one. Yes, finish the one you're using. This is your challenge. Here's your challenge. For your journal, or whatever it is that you want to finish, you want to get to the end of. Between now and December, stay in that book. You will either finish that book before December and be able to treat yourself to a nice new one. You will finish it by December, which means you get a nice new one next year to start the new year with. Or you'll just, get to December and still have blank pages left. In which case you can go, well, okay, do I want to finish this book? Shall I take it into the new year? Do I want to keep it with me? Or shall I start a new one? And repurpose what's left. There's your challenge. I challenge you to stay in your book. I've managed to do it so far. It's been a struggle. There have been days where I've been seconds away from hitting that purchase button and saying, nope, I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to get a new. Nope, don't do it. And then I look at this and I go, look at all that paper I'm going to waste if I don't use it. And the trouble is, it's not like I can say, well, I'll use this for something else, because everything other than my junk journaling stuff is going in here. Any writing I do, any notes I do, any projects I do, it all goes in here. It's not that far away. How many shopping days is it till Christmas? If you think of it in terms of how many shopping days is it till Christmas, especially in America, I mean, think about it. It's 2 weeks to Halloween, and then it's 3 weeks to. It's 2, then 3, then 4, isn't it? So it's 2 weeks to Halloween, it's 3 weeks to Thanksgiving, and it's 4 weeks to Christmas. That's not a very long time, guys. You accept your challenge and now challenge Burgess. Excellent. We need a challenge name. What should we call it? And for those of you who don't need help finishing your notebook, finish that book that you've been trying to finish reading for God knows how long. That's also me. But, you know, that book that you keep putting down and then going and reading something else, stop it. 70 days to Christmas and 77 till the end of the year. That's not long at all. That's not long at all. And 70, even I can do that. 2 70s is 140, right? That puts me 3/4 of the way through this book. So I'll still have 150 pages, even if I only do 2 pages a day. And it's going to be more than 2 pages a day because I've got an entire class to work out. Rose challenge, use that journal. That's a bit long, isn't it? Let's do... Use that book. Finish that book. Finish that book. Just finish the damn journal already. Yes. Just finish the damn book already. Okay, that's. I mean, on Instagram we can have hashtags that are as long as we like. So perhaps just finish the damn book already is what we need. You're on page 205 of 464. I'm on page 196 of... Well, it's a 400-page book, isn't it? So I think it's 430, actually, but we'll call it 400. So I'm about halfway through as well, yeah. Just finish the darn book. Finish the damn book. Yep, that's our tag. That's our hashtag. Finish the damn book. So whether it's a journal or you need to finish your planner because you've got a new one coming and you're tempted to jump ship, you know, that itchy feeling. Or finish that page, that book that you've been reading for the last year. I've got a couple of books that I haven't finished reading. I've got a Stephen King book that I just can't get into at all. I can't finish it because it's taken me ages, and it's an audiobook, so it should be easy to finish, but I just get so bored. And it's not like it's the reader or anything, because it's read by Will Patton, and I love him. So, yeah. Finish the damn book. Just finish the damn book already. No, let's stick with finish the damn book, because that's shorter. It's shorter and it's catchier. Finish the damn book. That's your challenge. I'll put it on my Instagram for you so you can... Yeah, whatever book it is that you need to finish, finish it this year. Stay in it. Get it done. Should have enough pages for the rest of 2019. Excellent. You just finished The Institute. Oh, I haven't read that one yet. Oh, I'm rereading. I replayed Doctor Sleep the other day because it's a TV thing, isn't it? A film or something. It's coming out. Yeah. So I always reread the book first. Hello. Here's a Miss Maddie, look. Hello, Miss Maddie. How are you doing? She's upside down, but she's here, look. Hello, Miss Maddie. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hi. You come to say hello to everybody. Look at your toenails. Look at the length of them toenails. We need to chop them down. Them toenails need chopping off, madam. What have you been doing? What have you been eating? You don't even know? You want a belly rub? Belly rubs for Maddie. Belly rubs for Maddie. Here we go. Belly rubs for Maddie. Belly rubs for Maddie. Here we go. There we go, my love. Did any of you see... Oh, what's her name? Amy. Girl and Quill? I think it's Girl and Quill. I did that thing the other day where I started watching YouTube videos and I just hit play. Oh, hi Schminker. Hi baby, you're a good girl. She wants Mummy to stop already. It's evening time. It's Snuggles time, is it? Is it Snuggles time? Okay, give me a second and then we'll have Snuggles. We'll have Snuggles and I'll have some tea. Yes. Okay, see you later, Burgess. Finish the damn book. Or books in your case. An Advent story. Ooh, can you send me the link for that, Risha? That's kind of cool. Is it in English? Or can you get it in English? What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Gosh darn it. I better put that away before I stab myself with something. Finish the damn book. I'm going to put it on Instagram. That's the challenge. Oh yeah, Girl and Quill. Girl and Quill. It was one of those, I started watching somebody's YouTube and then I was kind of nodding off, so I just let it keep playing. And I got to one of Girl and Quill's videos from 2017 where she showed all of her journals from 2017, and she'd been on a binge thing of using up stuff she'd already had instead of buying new stuff. Now, bear in mind that she's got writing like Burgess. So, you know, on one page, she'll write like 2 words on one line and 3 words on another. And then, you know, just get about 15 words on one page at some point. So she's not tiny cramming it all in like I do. But she had, up until October 2017, 29 journals. And one of them was huge. One of them was like a big chunky, it was that handbook for the recently deceased one that's like 300 pages and it's bigger than A5. It's B5, I think. 29 journals for 10 months. I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe. And they were stuffed full. It wasn't like she'd got halfway through a book and then stopped, or she'd stuck one picture on a page or whatever. She had big writing, but she'd used every single page of every single journal. It's like, oh my goodness me. The only one she hadn't was like a travel journal. It was like a travel insert for a traveller's notebook. And she had a few pages left in that, and she said that's because it was the one she took with her when she went away, and she was going away again, so she wanted to use up the rest of it when she went away again. But yeah, 29 journals for 10 months. That's insane. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I couldn't believe somebody could output that much. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, go and check out that, because it's you just look at it and you go, is that her entire journal collection? And she's like, oh, this is the ones I've used in 2017 so far. Oh, it is translated into English. Okay. Yeah. Can you send me the link on Instagram and I'll... Anna. Anna, not Amy. That's right. I knew it began with an A. Amy's the other one. I can't remember her name. I can't remember her YouTube name. But there's another one. No, not Documented Journey either. Anyway. I'm going to go. Maddie wants a snuggle. Boo wants to go for a wee. I need some food. And then I've got work to do, so... Go away. Go finish that damn book. See you next week, guys. Bye.